towards the front. Not going to be easy from where he's starting, ninth, but what's he got? He's got his teammate ahead of him. He's got 2 Aston Martins. He's got Daniel Ricciardo as well. I think the best he can probably hope for is 4th or 5th, the best case scenario. There's a lot of cars ahead of him. None of them are going to be easy to pass. Alex Albon, he's going to be starting from the pit lane. They made some changes to his suspension. Esteban Ocon has just hit Charles Leclerc in the pits when they're both exiting their garages, going to the grid. Ocon's damaged his front wing, and Charles Leclerc had damage to the wheel rim, which is absolutely bonkers. But it happened. Look at this. This is the damage to the front, the wheel of Charles Leclerc. This was the incident itself.
Looking at that.
The guy was completely sleeping.
Ocon's just come out of the garage and just... His mechanic, I think, was telling him to stop, but either he hadn't seen it or... Yeah, so they've just made contact now on their way to the grid. So I don't know what will come of that exactly. Quite bizarre. I mean, we actually see it quite a lot with unsafe releases and what have you. So in a way, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened more. But yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to the sprint, even though I do... Ironically, I think Max Verstappen's going to win again. But that isn't the whole story if we look at what happened yesterday. Lando could have and should have had pole position. If you actually look at Lando's lap, he lost so much time in Sector 1 from about 3 or 4 mistakes. And apparently that was due to tyre temperatures. The McLaren just didn't have the tyres in the right temperature on the softs. They were so quick on the mediums. On the softs, they didn't have them in the right working window, and Lando was all over the place in the first sector. His time from SQ2 was enough for pole position. He just didn't put his lap together. And that's frustrating because we're going to now see another Max Verstappen win. But it should have been a different story, I think. I think we should have potentially seen a really good fight for Lando. So he's going to be kicking himself, for sure. But that's the way it works. Good afternoon, Calf, Tom. Not Calf Tom, Calf and Tom, 2 separate people. As always, I'm going to put the YouTube stream there. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. It does help me and it's free. Why wouldn't you do it? Unless you hate me, in which case hit the dislike button. Because, you know, that's cool, isn't it? Yeah, Calf Tom. Calf Tom. I'll be honest, I quite like it. Quite like it. So yeah, a little bit of random drama. Let's give another shout out to 2 people before the start of the sprint. First person, Charles Leclerc, had no practice because of his own mistake, admittedly, in FP1. So he's had no practice, got in there. Not only did he outqualify his teammate, Carlos Sainz, he put it right behind Max Verstappen on the front row. Fair play to Charles Leclerc. He pulled a lap out when he needed it, absolutely smashed it. Top tier. That's number 1. Number 2, Daniel Ricciardo in 4th place. What a lap from Daniel Ricciardo, by the way. I was just talking about earlier on yesterday in the session about how, you know, he's just not been good enough. And he absolutely puts in a lap that just shows us how much potential he really does have. Not only is he out-qualified Tsunoda with his own problems down in 15th, he's put it ahead of 2 Aston Martins, Alonso and Stroll, who are definitely quicker than that Visa Cash App. He's put it ahead of Piastri and Sainz as well. What a lap from Daniel Ricciardo. Put it in when it mattered. Brilliant. Top tier. Also, Lance Stroll out-qualified Alonso in the sprint. Don't see that very often, do we? So, you know, there is that. Also, a big shout out to Mercedes getting themselves into P11 and 12. Oof. What a qualifying from the back of the grid team. Just the you know, the small manufacturer like Mercedes really showing how good they are there, just to get maximum performance out of that Mercedes and get themselves into 11th and 12th. Really good job from them. You know, small budget, small team. Good job. Yeah, you know, it's just nice to see the underdogs like Mercedes really pulling it out of the bag there, you know, to get a really good performance, you know. That's what I think. Has George Russell looked like he had a hole in his fireproof mask there? I assume that's not for his drinking tube. It could be. I mean, listen, watching United in the league is, as a United fan, it's not a punishment that I would put on anyone. It's not a punishment I would put on anyone watching United. Genuinely. Absolutely. I mean, it's just a joke. Just a joke. So yeah, I presume it's fair to say Max is probably going to win the sprint race then? Do you think? Is that fair? Probably. How have Portsmouth been doing, Kath? Oh, they won, didn't they? They won the league. They won League One, didn't they? Yeah. The Wrexham are going to be in League One. That's bloody crazy, isn't it? Hey, there's some good teams in League One, you know. Some really good teams. Teams that used to be in Premier. Charlton, Reading. Blackpool used to be in the Premier League. Bolton, Derby, Portsmouth. Some good teams. Some really good teams. Oh, bloody hell. It's going to be the Shrewsbury-Wrexham Derby.
Right, Captain.
Mr. Bill, thank you very much for the 39 months. I appreciate you. Yeah, Maidstone, living the dream. Yeah. Right, got about 5 minutes before the start of the race. I haven't seen the new season of This Is Wrexham yet, or Welcome to Wrexham. I can never remember what it's bloody called. Me and Joel probably watch a few episodes later. In between the sprint and qualifying. I predict Charles Leclerc. Do you know what? Actually, I was about to say I predict Charles Leclerc will get ahead of Max at the start, but someone will be able to tell me this. I don't remember the last time Max had a bad start. Do you? He has had bad starts, and I remember them from some time ago, but I don't remember recently Max having a bad start. And when he's in first, he very rarely has a bad start and loses position. Well, Melbourne's an interesting example, yeah, but um, he didn't have a bad start though, did he? In terms of an actual off the grid start. He certainly had a bad first few laps from various reasons. Well, yeah, arguably he had an amazing start if he still had the brakes on, didn't he? Really, technically. Miami. Do you know the initial plan for this was? Well, they had initial ideas for Miami. They wanted it to go through a tunnel somewhere. I'm not sure which tunnel it was, but they rejected it. And they did want it at some point to go through the stadium as well. But for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Logistics or whatever. Yeah, maybe we need a good front row crash, yeah. I don't mean that, but you know. Good afternoon, Daz. I want to see a Le Mans start for Formula One drivers where they have to actually run to their car. They actually have to run to their car, get in, strap themselves in. Sasuke, how you doing? Current afternoon. Everyone's on mediums. Well, apart from Yuki and Logan. In the Fellowship of the Scuff. I haven't looked at that yet, Mr. Miller. Do I want to? Is it live in Discord? Do I want to look at it? Mmm. Oh my god. Esteban Ocon is starting the race with a 10-second time penalty for the collision in the pit lane. Oh my god. That's unfortunate, isn't it? he's not going to be happy about that, is he? Starting the race with a 10-second penalty in a sprint as well. I'll have a look at it after, Mr. Mill, and I will give you feedback. Hmm. Where is this in the tag Discord? What's it? What channel's it in? Free content. Oh god. Oh dear. I love Tiny Freeman. Oh god. Yeah, Sacriel as well. Oh my god. That's good. That's good. Right. I will tell you obviously when the lights go on as always. If you want to watch without delay, I do recommend what some people do and watch on YouTube but have the Twitch chat. It's also an option because then you can pause the feed on YouTube so that you can pause it and sync it up with what you're watching. If you do head over to YouTube, make sure to hit that like button as well. It looks very warm. Looks very warm. I don't know what the track temp is, but it definitely looks toasty. It was 52 degrees yesterday, so... If McLaren get their act together, in qualifying later, I do think they can get pole position. If they get their act together, I do think that there's a chance. There is a possibility of getting it for the actual race, so I am looking forward to qualifying later. I think that's a harsh penalty for Ocon, a 10-second penalty for a pit lane infringement before the race has even begin. I know he made contact, but there is extenuating circumstances with vision and stuff like that, and engineers letting him out. I don't know. They've obviously looked at it and decided he's done something untoward. Right. We're almost ready, folks. We're almost ready. Green flag, lights on. 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. Oh, it's a good start for Verstappen. Is Leclerc going to send it? No. Oh, Perez. Oh, there's a McLaren spun at the back. It was a McLaren. It must be Lando. It must be Lando. I don't know if it is. Yeah, it is. He got hit by someone. Alonso's hit Lewis, who's gone into Norris, apparently. Safety car. Oh, dear. Yeah, there's a... How has Alonso gone into Hamilton, though? Oh, it must have... Russell's down in 15th. Russell's down... It must have been contact with a Mercedes, surely. It must have been Russell, because Russell's down in 15th. Oh, my God. We wanted to see Norris coming through the pack. We wanted to see Norris working his way. Right, we're watching the start. Norris had a good start. It's Lewis. It was Lewis. It was Lewis that caused that. Oh, actually, no. The Astons make contact, but Lewis makes contact with one of them as well. Oh, actually, I mean, it is... Lewis doesn't make the apex into turn 1, but also there's already contact between the two Astons when Lewis is in turn 1. But Lewis then pushes into them both. And that hits Lando. Oh, I don't know. So Norris, Stroll has already made contact with Fernando, and then Lewis is up the inside. Oh, it's... Yeah, Hamilton doubled the incident for sure. But the two Astons had already made contact. Oh, I don't know how the stewards will see that. I don't know. I don't know how the stewards will see it. I don't know what you think. Afternoon, Cat heard it. What do you guys think? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how I see it. Hamilton's definitely gone in too deep, but the Astons were already making contact with each other, so I kind of don't... Who do you give the penalty to there? I think there's a good chance Hamilton will get penalised for that. Yeah, because I think Lewis wasn't going to make that. I think Lewis went in too deep, so I think... No further action. No further action. I don't know. It's tough because Stroll has already gone into the side of Alonso. That's incident 1. Hamilton's come in way too hot. No doubt about that. So it was like... It was two incidents merging together. What would have happened, though, if Hamilton wouldn't have come down the inside? That would be the question I'd be asking. And I think if Hamilton hadn't come down the inside... there perhaps wouldn't have been as big of an incident. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure that will be debated. Safety cars ending this lap. The big loser from that was George Russell, because George Russell had to avoid all of that accident, and he's dropped down to 14th now. Hamilton's up to 9th because of that. Daniel Ricciardo only managed to get himself up into 3rd, past Sergio Perez at the start, didn't he? Yuki Tsunoda up to 10th as well, from 15th. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. Safety car is ending. Right. Max is always good at the restarts, so... Sargent is in 12th, you're right, yeah. Albon's down in 16th, but Albon started from the pit, so that safety car's definitely helped him. Alonso and Stroll are still in the race in 18th and 19th as we start. Great start from Max. Unsurprisingly. Hmm. I wonder if Charles Leclerc will be able to stay with Max Verstappen. Remember, safety car restart, there's only one lap now before DRS is active. Yeah, that first lap incident's pretty interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more. You've got the Tsunoda's behind Hamilton on the softs and Sargent's on the softs in 12th, but yeah, I'm not sure they're going to last. Maybe the safety car will help them with that, though, because we're only now really properly getting underway, so that's going to be 15 racing laps-ish on the softs rather than 19, so maybe. Max is already out of DRS range, just. So he might have already done the work necessary. It is very hot, yeah. It is very hot. So I don't know if those softs are going to last. It's a very good question. Ricciardo's holding on to third, though. He's holding on. Piastri's in 6th. I feel really bad for Norris. I really wanted to see Norris working his way through the field. Ugh. You could end up saying, though, again, it comes down to his bad qualifying. And by his own admission, he made mistakes. If you watch... Oh, there you go. Perez has passed Ricciardo. If you watch his lap, it was all over the place in the first sector for Norris. And part of that, supposedly, was the tyres weren't up to temperature. They got the calculation wrong or something. And that was why the tyres weren't up to temperature, and so he just struggled. But it's annoying for him because they were so good on the mediums. To then be so bad on the softs is just frustrating, isn't it? And he's ended up in the midfield and he's been caught up in someone else's incident, which is really frustrating. Doesn't look like there's any damage, though. It was wheel contact. I'm not really sure why he wasn't able to get going, but should be positive for the race tomorrow. Norris, Sainz all over the back of Danny Rick at the minute. Daniel's doing the best he can. Leclerc's dropped back from Verstappen. Ooh, spicy. I'd love to see Danny Rick get a podium. I don't think that's likely now. Perez is past him, but... Danny Rick's holding on to the back of this... He's holding on to the back of this Red Bull at the minute. No, he hasn't completely lost him. Oh, these haven't updated, by the way. Hold on a sec. There we go. He's only 1.3 seconds ahead, but he is, he's out of DRS currently. But Leclerc's still, within range. You've got Russell's in a bit of a DRS train at the minute in 14th. Hamilton is struggling to get past the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. Sainz will get past Danny Rick at some point. It's just a matter of when, I think, rather than if. Norris incident entering the track on foot noted. Has he gone to the pit lane across the track and he's now going to be punished for it? They hate that, don't they? They hate drivers walking across the track, even if the driver thinks it's safe. Well, I talked about this yesterday. I actually think it's a good track in terms of like just lapping around it. It's quite fun to drive, like on the F1 game at least. It's quite a fun track to drive, Sector 1 especially. But it's not a good race circuit, is it? It's a bad race circuit. You know, it's not good for racing, which sadly Formula One apparently don't care about. Yeah, it'll just be a fine for Norris. He'll be fined for crossing the track. I don't think he really cares. Even with DRS, Hamilton can't get past Magnussen, and Magnussen is out of the DRS of his teammate at the minute. And even with DRS, Hamilton seemingly can't get past. Charles Leclerc's holding that gap to Verstappen at 1.3, and you're right, he is pulling away from Perez. Perez isn't catching Charles Leclerc at the minute. Yeah, but you would expect with DRS down two very long straights for that Mercedes to be passing a Haas, to be honest. Oh, he's right behind him now. He has to be past him now, Hamilton. He's right up his gearbox. If he doesn't get past him now with DRS, then there's a problem. Oh my god. He couldn't have been closer to his gearbox and he still didn't get past. That Mercedes is so slow on the straight. That's insane. He was pushing him along in the exit, basically. He was pushing him along in the exit. He was so close to the back of Kevin Magnussen and still didn't have enough speed to get past him on the straight. That is madness. That's madness. Bloody hell. So, Charles Leclerc is now dropping further back from Max Verstappen. Danny Rick is out of the DRS of Perez, so I think Sainz will be past him pretty quickly as well. Well, we've got an interview with Lando, but there's no audio, so that's useful, guys. I mean, Kevin Magnussen just cut the chicane there. I mean, yeah, he definitely gained an advantage by cutting the chicane. Yeah, I wonder if Lewis got any damage from that turn one incident. It's hard to say. But, you know, George Russell is struggling to get past Zhou Guanyu as well. But that's because you've got Russell, Zhou Guanyu, Sargent, and Gasly all in DRS. He's in a huge DRS train. So it's different for George because all the cars ahead of him have got DRS as well. Carlos Sainz now on Danny Rick. I think Carlos Sainz will be pretty upset so far. Charles Leclerc only had one practice session and still out-qualified him. I'd be maybe embarrassed isn't the right word, but, you know, I'd be like, you know, he's jumped in the car and done a better lap than me there, and he's not even had a practice session. I'd be a little bit miffed. The best chance we had of someone competing with Max Verstappen in this race was Lando Norris, and he ruined his own qualifying, and then he's got caught up in an incident that wasn't his fault, and now he's out. And so, yeah, I think the only car that had a chance was Norris, I think. Even Carlos Sainz is struggling to get past this RB of Ricciardo, to be fair. And Ricciardo's not got DRS ahead of him either. So, well, K-Mag is also getting a point in 8th place. It's only 1 point, but Hulkenberg's getting 2 points currently. Magnussen's getting 1. Max saying he's got 0 rear grip whilst also simultaneously pulling away from Charles Leclerc is exactly what I expect from F1 2024. Do you know what? Car's absolutely terrible. No grip. It's shocking. Understeer, oversteer. Roger that, Max. You're actually a second quicker than the next car. Oh, okay, cool. Roger. There was meant to be a risk of rain this weekend, but I haven't seen any possibility anymore of rain tomorrow. Max was slower, but not by a worrying amount. He's probably just conserving tyres. Or Lewis might have got past Magnussen. Oh, there's contact. He hits him. That looked bad from Magnussen, I think. I had to see that again. Magnussen braked really late, went deep, and then pushed up the inside and made contact with him. I don't know. That looked a bit dirty for me. That looked a bit dirty. I need to see that again. 10-second penalty for Kevin Magnussen. But now it's a no good because he'll just block the cars behind so his teammate can get points just like he did when he had that 30-second penalty. It's of no consequence because he'll still just keep doing these tactics to keep cars behind, knowing that he can't gain anything. He then just becomes like do you know what I mean? I need to see this again from K-Mag. He did a Max Verstappen where he braked so late he couldn't possibly make the corner. And he went off track. Oh, no, that's bad from K-Mag. He went off track and then into the side. No, come on. You can't do that. Nah, he can't. He went off the track, though. They're saying, is Hamilton incident speeding in the pit lane? What? There's been no fucking pit stops. You can't do that. Like, they're saying, his axle was alongside. Yeah, because he went off the fucking track. They did drive through the pits under the safety car. You're right, actually. You're right, they did. How the hell has he been done for speeding in the pit lane? Well, yeah, I mean, it's a slam dunk. If Lewis has been speeding in the pit, it's a slam dunk penalty. They normally don't. They normally know full well that that's true. So during the safety car, for some reason, he's been caught speeding. I mean, that's a pretty bad mistake under the safety car. K-Mag, I can't believe they haven't looked at that incident where K-Mag's got off the track and they've made contact. You can't keep a position like that. That's nonsense. He knows he's got a 10-second penalty now, so he's got nothing to lose other than slowing down and keeping Hamilton from getting past Hulkenberg. Like, that's just... Yeah, I don't like this. They need to change these rules, man. This is what he did in, was it Jeddah, where he was basically just a roadblock even though he had a penalty. He was just doing everything he could, you know, absurd defending maneuvers because he couldn't benefit, you know, from the position. He was just slowing people up so K-Mag, you know, so Hulkenberg could benefit from it. Carlos Sainz still can't get past Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, but the penalties, they keep saying, oh, you'll get another penalty for track violations. It's no good because it's just a time penalty. So if you've got a 10-second time penalty that already takes you out of the points, what good is another time penalty? You'll just be like, well, I don't care because the last one didn't matter, so the second one's not going to matter either. I'll just keep doing it, keep the car behind me, and, you know, he's now 4 seconds behind Hulkenberg. So even if Hamilton got past now, he wouldn't catch Hulkenberg. No, K-Mag, that's not on! This is nonsense, guys! This is not allowed, surely. He's done it again! No, this is bullshit, guys. This is not allowed. This is not allowed now. This is dirty. He was a car length and a half behind him, and he stopped him making the corner. Come on. That's illegal, man. Come on. Hamilton's lost out. He's now down to 10th. That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. Behavior like this can't be allowed. It can't be. Hamilton's like way ahead of him into the braking zone. Oh, he's way off the track. What? Not only is it over the top, he already has a 10-second penalty. He already has a 10-second penalty, so he's got nothing to lose. Oh, that's just not... We've got to have a... Magnussen's been overtaken now as well. Yeah, that needs to be looked at. That really needs to be looked at, that sort of racing, I think. That sort of behaviour needs to be looked at. I just don't think we can have that sort of racing. I really, really don't. It's not okay to be racing like that, where basically you're ruining another driver knowing that you have a penalty. We can't be okay with that. We can't. You know, if you're going to give someone a 10-second penalty and they're purposely then fucking another car over illegally, defending, then the stewards have to do something about that. They have to. It's mind-boggling that they haven't, to me. I mean, K-Mag's known for doing this sort of thing as well. Like I say, Jeddah's a good example. He had, what, a 30-second penalty, and he was just slowing people up in the corner. And some people were like, well, this is good, isn't it? Oh, he's got another tight... Oh, see, this is what winds me up, right? They've given him another 10-second penalty, K-Mag. Guys, he's in 10th place. You've given him 20 seconds worth of penalties. What benefit... That's not affecting anything. It doesn't do anything. It has to be a drive-through. It has to be. It doesn't make it make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It has to be something different. It has to be. You know, oh, we've given a 10-second time penalty to the driver who also had a 10-second time penalty. And now they're investigating the Magnussen-Hamilton incident where he left the track and gained an advantage. Oh, you're doing that in a timely fashion? Jesus Christ. It was 5 laps ago. It was 5 laps ago. What are you talking about? It's bonkers. I don't know what. I don't know what life is anymore. I really, really don't. I don't know what life is anymore. Danny Rick still holding on to 4th position. He's still holding Carlos Sainz and Piastri behind him. And there's no way we really believe that in race trim that RB is quicker than that Ferrari, yet he's still holding him behind. Leclerc's 2.5 seconds behind Verstappen. Perez did close the gap to Charles Leclerc as well. He halved it. I don't think Hamilton's going to get past Tsunoda. So here's what's happened here. Hamilton has lost out on 8th and a point because of what Magnussen did. Because Magnussen stopping him take the corner not only stopped Hamilton getting past Magnussen, but it caused Hamilton to lose a position to Tsunoda. So Hamilton's now in 9th, and he isn't in the points anymore because of what Magnussen did. Because at that point, Hamilton was in 9th, behind Magnussen, but Magnussen had a 10-second penalty, so he was going to inherit 8th. So Magnussen's actions actually caused Hamilton to lose out on a point. But anyway, I mean, that's by the by, isn't it? At the end of the day, the way Magnussen was driving there, twice into the chicane, twice into that hairpin, he outbraked himself to the point where he couldn't make the corner to stop Hamilton getting past. And that's... Do you know the problem? Do you know what the problem with this, guys? That has been allowed from Max Verstappen. That's the tactic Max Verstappen used to use in 2021 to stop Hamilton getting past. And the FIA did fuck all about it. They did fuck all about it. So now, people like Kevin Magnussen are like, well, that's what I'm going to fucking do then. This was what Verstappen was doing in 2021 in every fucking race. He did it in Brazil. He was doing it in Saudi Arabia. He would just brake way too late into the corner, not make the corner, but would stop Hamilton getting past. The FIA have made it okay. This is the interesting fight now. Can Daniel Ricciardo hold on to 4th place, which would be fantastic? I don't think Hamilton's got anything in him to get past Tsunoda. Sadly for him. Russell's has made 0 progress, so Mercedes are going to be very disappointed with their race. They've not been able to make any progress past anyone. Daniel Ricciardo will just be holding on to his battery now down this back straight, hoping that he can just keep Carlos behind for one more lap. So they are investigating this Hamilton speeding. I mean, I don't think he'll really give a shit anymore. He's not in the points. It won't really matter. So Danny Ricciardo is going into the chicane now. He has kept him behind. Just about. Oh, Hamilton has just got past Tsunoda. We've not seen it, but he has got past him apparently. Danny boy! Oh, we're seeing Max now, which is great, but can we just see Danny Rick, please? Max wins, unsurprisingly, 3.3 seconds ahead. Go to Danny Rick, please! Oh! Sainz isn't going to get past him. Danny Rick! Hey! Fair play. What a race. What a race from Daniel Ricciardo. It wasn't exhilarating. What is Crofty talking about? Was that sprint race exhilarating? I mean, listen, I love Formula 1. I'm all for it. But it wasn't exhilarating at all, was it? It's exhilarating because Kevin Magnussen is just driving like a fucking moron. Is that exhilarating, is it? People driving illegally is exhilarating. Okay, cool. It's just a terrible circuit for racing. Terrible circuit for racing. Terrible circuit for racing. Like, as we saw then, how many overtakes did we actually see? Like, it's just not a good circuit. It's not a good circuit at all. Like, it shouldn't be a surprise to us. No one looks forward to the Miami race. As you say, it wasn't a good circuit. It wasn't a good race last year, and it's not a good race this year either. Our hope for tomorrow is that later on tonight, Lando can put in a good qualifying. I think Lando has a chance. I genuinely think Lando has a chance to win the race tomorrow if he can have a good qualifying. Because the McLaren does look to be quicker than the Red Bull, I think. There is a chance for it. Kevin Magnussen with 3 penalties in a sprint race, guys. Come on. 10 second, 10 second, 5 seconds. In a sprint race. I mean, you know what? Martin Brundle needs to get off his fence there. Because that is nonsense. He's saying, oh, yeah, he was over the line, but he's racing hard. That's not hard racing. Racing illegally isn't hard racing. Braking so late that you know you can't make a corner and that a driver around you then has to get out of your way is not racing hard. That's racing unfairly. That's just bad racing. That's not the same as racing hard. We have to make this distinction, right? There's racing hard and then there's racing fairly but hard. That isn't racing hard. There's a huge difference, man. And I feel like people, oh yeah, it's just hard racing. No, it's not. It's dangerous and it's shit. That's what it is. We all want fair and hard racing. That's what we want, but it's not. It's not good. What did he get a 20-second penalty for? Wait, what? Lewis got a 20-second penalty? For what? Drive through, yeah, but for what? What's he got a drive through for? For speeding? Oh, okay. I don't think he'll really care. He got a point, didn't he? It's not really going to change his race very much. That's fucking hilarious to me, by the way. Is this... Am I missing something here? Lewis was speeding in the pits under a safety car and gets a drive-through penalty, essentially. Kevin Magnussen driving like an absolute moron, smashing into people and not taking corners, gets 3 time penalties in the race and not a drive-through. Are we living... am I missing something? How has Hamilton ended up with more time penalties than Kevin Magnussen after that showing? How has how has that happened? Explain that to me, please. That's madness, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't understand. Him getting a penalty for speeding is fine. If he's speeding, he's speeding. He needs to be punished for it, right? But the fact that his punishment can end up being more than what Kevin Magnussen got for that fucking shit show is bonkers to me. That's bonkers. Oh, God. Yeah, but it's not a fine when it's in the race and the race had started. It's only a fine if it's in a practice session or qualifying. The race had started, so it's then a penalty. I don't have a problem with that. If he was speeding, then he has to get a penalty. It's fine. Also, to be speeding in the pit lane during a safety car is fucking moronic anyway. But he deserves a penalty. It's fine. But the fact that he then gets a drive-through, changed to 20 seconds because after the race, the fact that he gets a drive-through for speeding in the pits, and Kevin Magnussen gets less with 3 penalties after the way he was driving, is mad to me. That doesn't make sense at all to me. It seems quite mad. But, you know. There we go. Right, okay. There we go. I will be back later for qualifying, so that'll be about, what, 9 o'clock? Well, the qualifying's 9 o'clock, so I'll be back about 7:45. And we'll watch quali. It's the, fucking bonkers. Yes, so I'll be back for quali. Hopefully, Lando can have a good qualifying, and we'll maybe then have a good race tomorrow. So let's see. Fingers crossed. Right. I will see you on the flip side. I'll see you later. Bye. What the? Where's this gone? Bye. Bye.